All right, hi everybody.
Hi.
We are in the hive today, so this is going to be our week 4 inspection for our package bees. And you can see it's pretty overcast. We don't get to choose the weather, so that's how you know this is an AI generated video, because otherwise it'd be sunshine. So this is the real deal.
Yeah.
We're not pulling any punches or faking anybody out here. We're just going to show you the real information. So Melissa asked me to start with the smoker. She's been having some questions about, what do you use for fuel for your smoker? You can use just about anything that burns in a smoker. It just comes down to how easy it is to use and how often you have to refill it. My mentor always used pine needles, and they are free, so that's what I do. You can use smoker pellets, wood pellets, and the only disadvantage of those is it's a lot more difficult to light. You have to keep it torched to get a good start on the pellets. But basically, on pine needles, the main thing is you don't want to overstuff them. So if you pack them too tight down into here, they won't burn properly. So you actually kind of want them loose and fluffy. Just try to keep them so that they're inside of the lid there. And then lighting them is really, really complicated. You just throw a match in, and because they're dry pine needles, they pretty much just take off. And move the camera so we don't melt it. Basically just want to let it get a good fire started. Give it a little...
You're going to melt the camera.
There we go. So basically get some kind of coals, not really coals, but get a fire base started, and then just close the lid to snuff it out. And we just puff it to keep it going. You can see that my smoker has been run over by the four-wheeler, so the lid doesn't fit real nice and tight. I probably ought to clean it as well, but well used.
It does its job.
That's right. So that's lighting a smoker with pine needles. Super easy, and best time to collect pine needles is in the fall. When they're in somebody's yard, just ask if you can help them clean up pine needles. All right, Melissa.
Okay. We're going. Knock on the door. Okay. And then we set it here next to the edge.
So we're going to go through and do a thorough inspection today, because we've got our class tomorrow and it's projected to rain all day, so we may use this video in the class.
Haha, I forgot my hive tool, Dan.
Uh-oh.
Can I borrow yours?
Uh-oh. Novice beekeeper mistake. No hive tool.
Tell me how many beekeepers are like, gosh, I got all the way out, got started, and forgot my hive tool in the truck, or
oh, I've used a sharp stick
dropped
before.
it and couldn't find it. Yeah, when in doubt, look for a sharp stick. You can see I'm having to really work off this inner cover here, because it was glued down good.
Okay, so make sure that the queen is not
Yeah.
on the inner cover.
I don't see her.
So set that outer cover off to the side, and we want to put the inner cover leaned against something on the entrance so that those bees can climb up, and then they can just go straight into the hive.
I'm just lean that there. And I don't have a tool belt. See, I feel not quite right.
I know, without your hive belt.
I know, I'm so used to it. Okay.
All right, so we're going to start the inspection on the outside of the box, and we want to pick, in this case, these are package bees that aren't full in the box yet, but you always want to pick whichever side of the box is the least populated. And in this case, both of them are the least populated, so we're just going to pick the one that's closest to us. And there are going to be some loose bees. There is always a chance the queen is just kind of wandering around, but we made sure she's not there. And you can see these pine needles really smoke quite easily, so I'm going to move that back.
Yeah, it's smoking a lot.
So that we're drifting and not choking.
I don't see her. If you notice, I was looking down in there to see if she was popping up.
Right, so let's go over that again. So whenever you pull the next frame out, the first place you're going to look for the queen. So we're going to pull this frame.
You're
we're going to look for
looking
the
down
queen here on the first frame that's still in the box that you just opened up to daylight. And we're going to look down in there, see if we can locate a queen. She's a lot easier to see on an angle because her body is larger. And then the next place you look is on this frame in your hand, the one that made it to that one that was close. It was the darkest.
Yeah, I don't
Because
see
some queens are very light sensitive, and so the sooner that you can kind of check for her where it was just dark, the better chance you have of finding the queen sooner. So we're just going to move this one all the way to the end. That way we have a good gap that we can see down into the hive.
Show them this, because it's really cool when you can see them all looking up at me, you know? It's just
all the little heads.
Yeah,
checking us out here.
I mean, we talked about it before, but I mean, if
So
you've
those
never
are full frames of bees, because all the little heads are looking back
if
at
you've
us.
never been in a beehive, I think that's just, it's really awesome, because they're literally looking at you like, what are you doing? I'm
They're
working.
calm and just
They
checking
are.
us out.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to look here, looking on this frame for the queen, and I don't
see her. Yeah, I don't know.
And then we're going to look here on this frame.
Yeah.
I don't see her, and then we look on the side that's been out in the light.
Show them that one right there. That just
The one that just flew
away. Yep.
Yeah, that was a drone. So when you're looking for queens, you're not looking at individual bees. You're looking at the bee bodies that are the largest. And so most of the time when you're looking for a queen, you're going to see every drone you've got in the hive, because your mind is going to say there's a big bee, and then it's just a drone. So like that one right there, it's like, oh, is that a queen? No, that's a boy. That's a big fat boy.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to look at some brood a little closer here after we find the queen. We want to find her and make sure that we know where she's at. On this side, and you always kind of want to so first you look in the middle of the frame for the larger body bees, and then I like to kind of look in the nooks and crannies along the edges, because sometimes they can be kind of running in that seam.
It's kind of like, where's Waldo?
Those are good hiding places in the seams.
I don't see her.
Nope, I don't see her on that one.
That almost look like a drone right there, a big fat drone.
Yeah.
You see it? Can you show him?
So there's a drone.
Yeah, there's
right
one.
Here. You can tell by his big eyes and big hairy backside. And we look on this side. This is a lot of capped brood, so a lesser chance that she's here because there's nowhere for her to really lay.
I don't see
but
her.
like this bee pops out in my visual. That's just a big drone.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when you start doubting yourself. Did I miss her already? We're halfway through. We haven't seen
She'll
her.
be on the ninth
Did I
frame.
miss the ninja queen?
But I mean, look how far out they are. So I mean, she could be on the last frame.
here's something fun. Look, a hive beetle. See a little black beetle? Best thing to do with those is squish them with your finger. Every hive is going to have hive beetles. They're an opportunistic pest that likes to eat honey and lay their eggs inside of the hive.
Watch out. I'm going to squish you.
Do not see her.
No.
Oh, okay. So she's here.
Yeah.
Now hold still, Melissa, and let's give everybody a chance to find a larger body bee around the middle of the frame. So I'm actually going to see if I can go the other way, zoom in a little bit, and there she is. So we're just going to take a minute and just kind of watch how she moves. So you can see she kind of bulldozes her way through. Everybody gets out of her way, and they're attentive to her.
And look at the top of her too. You see how she's got that round circle there right above like her eyes, you know. If you look, the others don't have that. I don't remember what that's called.
Oh, the back of her thorax?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she gets to kind of just bulldoze her way. They're kind of communicating with their antenna, talking to her, cleaning her, and they get out of her way because she's got the most important job to do.
She has work to do.
Hopefully that's staying in focus. That's better. Yeah, see, this is why she's hard to see sometimes, because they're crawling on her back, cleaning her and grooming her.
They're surrounding her, keeping her protected too.
And that's how they turn into ninjas. They just disappear into the hive. Okay, so now what we're going to do, she's on this outside frame, so what we're going to do is put her back. We know that she's safe, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about the different stages of brood.
Okay, want me to pull up the next one, or you?
Push it out back where it was.
Oops, sorry guys.
Nice and easy.
Yeah, they get stuck like that. We do the best we can.
Okay, pull out a frame and turn it up here, and then I'm going
We'll
to...
just go with the next one here.
We're going to talk about the different stages if we can. It looks like she has most everything capped.
Goodness. Oh, guys. That's very, very sticky. Okay. There we go.
Okay, so just rest that right here. Okay, so I'll go around this way. Don't worry, Melissa, I will move the camera.
I'll be Vanna White here.
Okay, so this is a pretty solid brood pattern. You can see that there are some spots here, but they're filled with nectar. So she's laid completely around all of these. And it's really just because they're trying to keep some nectar close to feed the babies. Somebody's jamming down the road. And so I don't know if you can see kind of the shine of the nectar in there. So they're keeping nectar close to the brood. And this is all of this is, the majority of this is all capped brood. And then they have some little bit of fresh nectar here, and then they have dried capped honey basically stored up here. And it's kind of that honey cap on the top of the frame, which is perfect. And then I'm going to go down here, because down here we can see the different stages of larvae. And I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so let's see if I have enough hands to do this. So I'm going to go right here. So those are fresh eggs. And then you can see there's kind of like some wet cells, and so those are really tiny larvae. And then you can barely see a little wiggle worm, little larva down inside of there. And basically as you move, as you kind of go up, they get a little bit older and older and older till they're capped. So you can see these are kind of like wedged in there. They're going to be capped soon. And in fact, this one right here, they're already starting to build some extra wax. They're starting to cap that one off. And once they cap it off, then the bees fully pupate. So again, we're going to go, yep, see all the fresh eggs. And then gradually gets out. So she kind of lays in these bands. Let me zoom back out here. So basically, she kind of starts in the middle. That's why this is older brood, and then kind of works her way. And so a lot of times you'll have brood in these different bands of ages. Usually your freshest eggs are either they're going to cycle. As these hatch, then the fresh eggs move to the middle, and then they just kind of like the band of fresh eggs will kind of cycle across. Yeah, that's a better focus. My finger keeps focusing on my finger, but you get the point where they have these cycles of brood that are happening. And because this frame is fully, almost like 80% capped brood, they're going to turn that. So this one side of capped brood, I think, turns into basically double the amount of bees that are going to cover two sides of the frame. So they're going to have this huge population explosion here in the next few days. And that's correct. That's right on schedule. From whenever she got released in the queen cage, you can see she's just been laying like crazy. It's a good, strong, healthy queen. Good, strong, healthy hive. I don't see in the brood, everything is nice pearly white. So you should always, and Jared spoke about that in our last class. So the brood should be, kind of pearly white. And if you ever start seeing something that is less than pearly white, you can have some things like chalk brood where it's kind of dull, or you have some other, like the brood kind of turns dark and it'll get kind of ropey and different things. But that's not what this is. This is all good, clear. Kind of the light's messing with me, but you can see it's pearly white. There's some darker background where they've been using these frames already, but for the most part all this wax is brand new wax, fresh white wax, clean wax. Awesome, looks great. This is, you couldn't ask for anything more for a new hive of bees. And everybody is really super chill and calm.
Yep.
All these little heads checking us out, they're just watching us.
Yeah.
They're just like chilling on the couch, making sure everything's cool.
Yeah.
They're probably doing like a caveman TV like we are. Like, man, look at these weird humans staring at us. And we're sitting here staring at them. Look at these cool bees staring at us.
That's all right.
Okay, so let's put that frame back, and then basically what we're going to do. So we're going to count frames that are drawn and frames of bees. And we are exceeding the 70% threshold on this box, so it is time. Oh, you can see she dropped it a little bit there, and they everybody came out to check out what's going on.
Like
so,
all right, what are we doing next?
Smooth and slow and steady is what keeps bees calm. So we're just going to start sliding these back over.
Okay. Are we looking at the next one?
We're going to put everything together, and then we can count them after we got everything kind of reassembled. So you can still see they're all over here wherever that last frame got bumped.
Yeah, I made them mad.
Yeah, maybe injured a bee and set off a little alarm pheromone, pinched somebody's leg or something. I guess
so. Look at them pouring out of there. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
It's like a crazy circus. You just do the best you can.
Okay,
I must have set off an alarm because look at him.
Hang on, let me get the smoker. This is where
we need to calm him down.
We want to disguise You see the smoker has calmed down too now.
Yeah.
Basically, we're just trying to disguise that alarm pheromone. And the smoker,
There's a little. Oh, ash.
that's okay. It'll
Yeah.
do the same thing. It's just the smell. We're just covering up the scent of the alarm pheromone. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get everybody.
They're already starting to go down a little though.
We'll just move this together real slow. And what happens is when they're that jumbled up is they want to
Yeah.
crawl
There's
into
just
the
so
gap.
many bees.
Hang on. Let's let these out of the gap here. Move your butts. Move your butts.
Yeah, so look, he's about to squish one right there. So you
Yeah,
just do
so
the best you can. It's
what I
just
do
it'll
is-
happen.
Usually if you put a little pressure on them, they will like
Move.
scooch out of the way. Yeah, there we go. This is what Jerry taught me, just to be nice and calm and easy and slow and steady with the bees. Okay, so while she's pushing those back together, I'm going to move back around here so that we can count. So this last frame, they were working on drawing wax. So that one is still largely empty, but this one was full, so and that's where the queen was. So she's already moving all the way out here to run out of space. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So they're right at the threshold of 7 frames that they're using, but you can see how packed they are with bees, all these little heads staring back at us. So that's awesome. They're covering up both sides of most of those 7 frames, and they're about to go through a population explosion. So this is where if we don't put an extra box on them and they go through that population explosion, they're going to get really crowded really quickly. And then there can be a tendency to want to swarm. So we definitely don't want to do that. So we're going to put an extra box on these guys to give them the space that they need.
Okay.
All right, I think that covers a basic hive inspection. Everything looks clean and healthy, and we're going to, so this is one of the tricks whenever they're up here on the lip like that.
Yeah.
You can kind of encourage them because these guys are calm, so I can do that trick. And then the other thing you can do is you lay the cover and then just kind of slide it across. It's going to upset them if they're, see, they're all confused to figure out what's happening here as well. Sometimes it's easier if you kind of do this carefully. You can slide it and just kind of push them out of the way. Okay, so we got it down, and then they're on the outside of the hive, but they will go back inside very carefully.
And now you know what not to do.
Yep.
Don't release it too hard like I did.
Yep.
And you will do it when you're in a hurry or, you know.
Yep. And then just make sure these guys are out of the way for the outer cover.
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of brush them a little.
Yeah, they'll be on the side. That's okay. The main thing is that they're not on
Yeah.
this top rail because that's where the
All right.
lid is going to sit.
Yeah. There you go,
All right,
guys.
and then we get the strap put back. We want to keep everything strapped down tight for sure. We've been having storms, and
Yeah.
you just can never be too secure keeping the hive together. All right. Any last words, Melissa, boss lady?
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Be a little more gentle like I normally am.
All right, we'll see y'all later.
Yeah.